All right, you're listening to Transparency and Merit. You're here with Brian and Joe. And Brian, why don't you take us on the Stoic path?
Well, Joey, I strive to be Stoic, but my ego and human nature get in the way. My ego thinks I'm more brilliant than I am. I'm not brilliant at all. I'm practically remedial. But I tend to think of myself that I can change people's opinion, and I really cannot. And
welcome to the show. Yeah, you know what? That's Brian. That's like the first. That was why I stressed the other day. We were talking, and I said that's why the most knowledgeable, well-versed people spreading the most accurate or I feel the most helpful information will tell you the same thing. Be an observer. Being an observer, you avoid the it doesn't mean you don't interject in a conversation or engage in arguments, but if you always kind of take the observer route, I think you could save yourself a lot of heartache. You kind of process a situation before you try getting into their heads and rearranging their thoughts and applying cognitive behavioral therapy or whatever. It's really hard to change a person's thought patterns.
Yes. Well, I because someone posted something about Trump, like Trump doesn't, validate my existence or something like that. And I posted on that page, on my city page, and I said, my main reason for voting this year, something I have not done in over 30 years, was the left's belief in the initiation of force with people it disagrees with. And the Democratic Party either denies it happens or supports it. My question to you is, how can there be a peaceful transition to power with people who are not peaceful? How can America not be a balkanized nation with hostile and violent factions? I thought that was rather reasonable, but maybe you do it. And then this person said, look, Brian.
This was the response you got?
Yeah. Look, okay. Brian, I'm wondering if you have been in a coma the last 30 years, because it's obvious you have no idea what has been going on in the U.S. for the last 3 decades. No need to respond, because all your posts have pointed to that kind of understanding from you. You seem to be waking up with very little understanding or knowledge of geopolitical world or the social realities of the late 20th and 21st centuries. Every time I see your post, I cringe, not for me, but in your behalf. My hope is that you find, let me see, I gotta scratch my computer screen. My hope is that you find in the new year you are open to new differences in the channel. And I guess I misspelled a few words. That was a roundabout way of saying you believe in violence to suppress speech you don't agree with. I wish if people were going to respond, they would just make it plain. And I don't know if I misspelled any word. Oh, you know what? It's plain. And the word is, I spelled the word, I spelled the word PLANE. And it was, I'm going to edit my post.
It should have a spell checker on there. I don't. Why are you getting caught up on spelling?
I don't know. I'm just like, And then she said, plain, look, I don't know what happened to CCSU in the 80s and early 90s, but there seems to be a whole lot of you homegrown Culver City guys who can't spell, don't understand homophones. There are simple grammar cheat sheets all over Google. They can help you understand English words better. So my grammar sucks. You still believe in violence to suppress speech you disagree with, which makes you a worse person than me. And she says, again, you have many obvious issues. I cannot begin to tackle them all, but Brian, let me explain one thing to you. You have posted countless articles that are violent in their intent towards BIPOC. That's Black, Indigenous, and People of Color. And that is a very Marxist word, by the way. I'm not going to. Oh, my God. And towards anyone you assume to be on the left.
Yes.
I have been generous in assuming it is because you have not had the advantage of good education and simple ignorance of the world. But it is becoming more plain that there is something much worse with you. Yes, another person she mentioned is a more empathetic person than I am, and he is also more hopeful that some folks on here can learn from each other. I tried with you, but see that you are happily unaware that Ayn Rand approach that was a height of the type of intellectualism, and I use the term with a grain of salt in relation to her, that brought people like Paul Ryan a fake legitimacy to legislation that chipped away at our democracy. That you are unable to understand that you are exactly the type of person she would have shunned is sad. I'm sorry for you, but I feel no empathy. See, what is the difference between feeling sorry for someone, but this is a vindictive person, by the way, if you disagree with her. But so I feel sorry for you, but you will never make Culver City or this world a better place. And the violent memes in the articles you post are taking up too much space.
Wow.
And then I said, your vindictive response proves my point. Now, I don't know how many people today in Culver City agree with you. I hope most don't. Oh, shoot, I should have said the city. But you believe
lay down
to suppress speech you disagree with. And this is this person. How is blank's comments violent? Is everyone that you disagree with being violent toward you? Brian, is that why you believe that the left believes in the initiation of force against people they disagree with? Really?
It is kind of an out there comment because that's not, I don't see that happening. I don't watch YouTube videos like that. So I don't see it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I just, there were 3 gunshots fired off tonight in my neighborhood. So, there is violence. I just,
did Mike deny that she supports violence to suppress speech?
I haven't seen that happening. And I think that's most people are like that. They just haven't seen violent reactions, and so yeah, I think maybe they're just maybe trying to point that out to you, but I guess that's a legitimate. If that's a legitimate fear of yours,
that for me is the main reason that I went out and voted is that I believe that the left believes in using violence for speech that it disagrees with, and they will use other methods. But I believe that ultimately,
aren't you kind of admitting that you buy into the media spins
on
and not focused enough on what's really happening in your life? I think that's just the general.
For me, I think this is something that all Americans that believe in liberty should believe in. That the First Amendment is very important, and that the right of freedom of speech in the left. I mean, and I was just in an argument today on someone's page who first said they didn't believe in using violence to suppress free speech. But I'll tell you something, Joe. Anytime I go down the rabbit hole with a person on the left, I find that sooner or later they get to the point where yes, they will use violence to suppress free speech. And
I don't disagree, and I've felt certain pressures from left friends of mine in the past, almost to the point where I almost felt maybe that violence could erupt at any moment. It's happened. It's happened. I have a friend that works in media, and I called a particular incident a hoax, and we had to be separated at a bar. We were all sitting with a bunch of friends, and I won't say who he works for, but it's a major news source, and he happened to be from the general area of. He grew up within maybe a couple hours of where this incident had supposedly happened, and he didn't like what I said to the point where he was ready to fight, and it was a telling moment. Not all viewpoints are welcome, man. Not all viewpoints are welcomed.
Yeah, and the thing is,
and that was like 3 years ago. Imagine, wow, today that same person would probably be far more hostile towards me. Yeah. But anyway,
and Joe, look, there are viewpoints that you express that I strongly disagree with, but I would never resort to violence. Are deciding to call your work. Violence. Let alone, I wouldn't. Are even calling your work to get you fired or something like that. The vindictive. To me, I want to put a nail in the coffin of woke cancel culture. I find it to be dangerous, and the fact that these people refuse to see it is a problem for me. But I know that these aren't the people I can convince. They're not going to get what I say, and they will nitpick things apart, and they're cruel. And someone mentioned, why are they mentioning my my spelling error? Only to try to hurt me. And my stoicism comes into play there because I really I already know what they're doing. And I don't care because it's not an issue, and they're bird walking it to try to attack me. These are vindictive, mean people, and I don't know if they see it, but I see it, and I think that others see that as well.
Oh yeah,
because they're not attacking the heart of the argument. They're attacking the fact that I misspelled a word.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there were other people involved or reading the post that maybe now would be afraid to respond for fear of being, outed or ridiculed by that person, who wants, some crazy person coming after them.
And the one thing I know about the left is the ones that are out and about, who are out and about in the who are the loudest, like on social media, are pretty good spellers and are somewhat intelligent, but they're very manipulative. I mean, it's a very manipulative move too. It's an intimidating. God, you know what? And I'll tell you something. I'm losing my Stoic calm just thinking about how kind of gaslighty it is.
Stay in the game, man. Stay in the game.
Yeah, you're right. But the thing is, what do I gain? I mean, I have to ask myself. The people on that page are too afraid to speak out, and if I'm the only one speaking out, I'm not. And the people there are a few people that agree with what I'm saying, but the few that agree, I mean, I've already convinced them. These people are not interested in having a dialogue. If you say something that they disagree with, they will absolutely shut you down. And I did put out, the post about the grooming gangs in England. To them, it went to, but most people would never care. Most people would never really care and would never consider it racist what I posted. But it's this day and age that they believe that. In my opinion, they're so hypersensitive and easily triggered that that's what they'll do, and that's one of the things that they'll run to. And it's just kind of sad to me that we cannot have an open and honest dialogue. But with those people, you can't. I mean, there are subjects you can't even talk about with conservatives anymore, primarily because they're afraid of the left. And the left makes everybody afraid.
I have a question. Do you want to pose that? There's a busy chat board, and Dennis is in there. Would you want to present this point of view to a group really quick and see what happens?
Yeah, sure. What's on what?
Let's see. It's in a. I'm just gonna pop in here. If it doesn't work out, I'll pop out. All right, let's see here. Okay, everybody. I am here with Brian, and Brian has a quick question, and then we're out. He's got to ask you guys. Go ahead, Brian.
What was the question that I was going to ask? Because
I don't know. Just make one up.
Here's your one question.
Yes, that was it. I guess you're gone.
These aren't wishes.
There's your second question. You're done.
Hold on a second. Who else is in?
Oh, you said how. That's the third. Three strikes, you're out.
No. Who's in this chat room? Who am I with right now? Who is this?
There's a Ronald, McDonald, Dennis.
King Aspar.
Just a bunch
Nick,
of people. Throw it out there.
Ron Worldstar.
We have got a lot. Is anyone here afraid of the left? Like afraid of?
I'm not the only man in this VC.
Yeah, black people scare me. I'm literally shaking my boots right now.
Oh, there we go. I didn't say black people. Jesus Christ. Joe, what did you get us in here?
I don't know. Just these are people. We can't control what they say, but all right. So nobody here. Dennis, are you afraid of the left?
Dennis is here. He came back already.
Oh, he's muted.
Dennis is afraid of sobriety.
What about you, Liz? Are you afraid of the left? Liz, like, no. All right.
No.
Well, all right. I guess we're just taking a poll. We'll be back.
Can I mention this? I was going to mention on my Facebook page, my city Facebook page, a lot of people privately come up to me and say they don't even go on that page because the leftists there are so vindictive. And part of me was angry at them because I saw their behavior And I was diplomatic at first, but then I went full on those individuals, and I find them to be very nasty, vindictive, and to a degree, I have a lot of anger towards them. I despise them as human beings, and they despise me.
I just interrupted these guys'
The problem is
conversation.
with Mr. Midnight Movie that in this voice channel, you just said the trigger words to make most of the people here horny. So those are you came in and you edged this voice channel.
true.
Yeah, that's why they all went quiet.
Yeah, we're all fucking spanking our monkeys right now.
That is terrific. Wait,
That's
hey, by the way, is that
Addictive.
All right. I had to get out of there. That was not going anywhere. I'm trying. I'm trying to talk to the people. We have a phone. You guys can call us. It's right there on the page.
You know, I think I'm going to go into my page right now, not my city website page. I'm not going to do that because those people are real morons.
Stabby's laughing because you almost got beaten up.
No, it was you. He said you almost got beaten up because you were the one that almost at the bar.
I did. Oh, he was laughing at me. Yeah, I almost did, but I was ready to fight. But it got stopped. I think he would have beat my ass. But
I mean, I'll be honest with you. There's part of me that would almost like some of these people seem really, and I've seen some of them like in person. I'd almost want armed guard, and I'd almost want to be armed. You know, I'd want like a concealed carry permit for some of these people because they seem to be a little bit unhinged and would get violent. And you know, I don't know. I mean, I'd want to draw down on them if they like try to approach me with vindictive violence. But I think some of them would almost get to that point.
dude, you know what? That incident taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Because it showed me that people are ready to fight over what I considered, I just have a very different point of view on it, and, it was a point of view that could have been talked about. A lot of good could have come from from somebody who deals with news cycles and should know better. But his default move was to stand up and push his chair back, ready to fight. What kind of intolerant piece of garbage would do that? But it's only gotten worse in the last couple of years. 2018 was a nasty year, by the way.
Now, this is the argument I got into on my Facebook page, and I just said I voted for Trump because I was sick of the normalization of riots and woke cancel culture. And also, I didn't like the idea that Antifa is that Biden said Antifa was an idea. And then this person says Antifa is a movement. It's not they. And then this is where I said, do you believe in the movement? And she says, and this person says, if by believe you mean I strongly oppose far right-wing ideology, then yes. Am I a terrorist? No. And then I said, what do you mean by far right? And she says, I support no extremism. I oppose homophobia, transphobia, forced assimilation, ultranationalism, chauvinism, xenophobia, racism, and then let me see here. And I said, can you show me in practice a nation that is diverse, that does diversity right? And I said something about law and order. And then I said, do you believe in using violence to suppress speech or expression? And then she said, no. And I said, do you believe that the left has initiated force many times against Trump supporters. And she says, no, stop playing the victim when you are in the wrong. And then I said, so I don't know whether it's your lack of empathy or lack of awareness that does not see the how violent the left is, perhaps both. And I said, it's both. The right. She said the right.
Portrayed that way in the media. Maybe if you worded it that way, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
She says it is both. The right is the party of racism, Islamophobia, xenophobia, homophobia, and sexism, and conveniently dubbed these discrimination beliefs conservatives. We are tired of it. Violence is not good, but those who propagate the violence in the name of equality are more justified than those who bomb daycare centers and storm gay bars with assault rifles. There will always be unpleasantries in the path to equality. Why am I laughing? I said, and then I said, now here's the deal, he put.
Argument.
Because I did ask her, you don't believe in violence to suppress speech? And then she said no, that she didn't believe in violence to suppress freedom of speech. So I said, so you do believe in violence to suppress speech and expression? You disagree. You disagree with. And she said, injustice, race. She says, racism is not free speech. And then I posted a meme, the Stepford Whites, the meme of the Portland moms. Do you even see how self-righteous and authoritarian you come across? Right and wrong exist in life, in politics. I would gladly be a Stepford White over a racist All Lives Matter villain. And I said, well, a young mother was shot at point-blank range for saying all lives matter. And there were people on her page saying, well, that's what you get for being a racist. Many evil people believe they are good and noble. I'm not condoning murder and never will, but don't say racist things and people won't retaliate. All lives matter is racist. And then I just said, I don't think that peace is possible with that kind of thought process. Many would rather live in an absolute state of war than give in to the principles of the kind of authoritarian leftism that you believe in, which is very anti-liberty. And she says, anti-liberty because I don't tolerate racism? Man, get out of here. I refuse to converse with racists and homophobes. Thank God we voted your orange god out. What did I post that was racist or homophobic? What the right stands for is racist and homophobic like you. Believing violence is okay to suppress speech does not make me a racist or a homophobe. And then she has this scene here of a let me see, a baby box saying that I'm in denial. Phase 4 denial, phase 3 denial kind of thing on there. And on a technical note, isn't going to strike inherently collectivist and anti-freedom? And that is true. Striking is anti-freedom, but to a degree, if you are in a state of war, I mean, I'm against war, but I'm against my oppression even more. So there are times when, for me anyway, war perhaps is the answer, and violence is the answer, particularly when it comes to self-defense and people who are disobeying the non-aggression principle. That's just an opinion. Did I say something funny? I haven't.
Oh man.
We need to go back into the Liz chat room again because that was getting a little interesting. Should we go back in there?
Let's see what's going on over there. Dennis might be back in.
Yeah, I know Marshall's not exactly stable. I just want to stay with.
Exactly.
So no hard feelings.
Right. Next. All right, you're telling me?
I'm just curious as to what the fuck's going on with him.
I don't know. If you can figure it out, please let me know. So
Is he not talking to you or what?
I have him blocked right now. The one who has the all-knowing information right now is gonna be Richard.
Every time he has like the fucking spurt out for whatever reason, he just doesn't talk to me.
Yeah.
Hey, Gecko.
Yeah.
I would vacate, Joey. Let's vacate.
I would
Go ahead, Brian.
Richard. I'm talking
Exactly. JP.
All right,
Yeah,
there we go,
it's
fixed.
wrong time.
Anyway.
Wrong time. Yeah.
Why is it the wrong
Talking
time?
about,
when is the right
bitches ain't
time?
shit, Richard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would refer you to him.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Let's vacate, Joey.
What?
Let's vacate.
Like World Star said, he needs to fucking take his meds.
You are the worst. Why did you choke? You choked.
I'm not going to just go in there and they're talking about something
Get what you
else.
need and get out.
They're talking about something else. Let me go into one of my own. I belong to another chat room in here.
Okay, go in there. Let's see what happens.
I'm going to see what happens here. Hold on a second here. I don't know. You know what? I don't know these people that well. I don't know if I want to be on the air live with them. So I might put myself on mute for a couple. You know what? I'm not going to do that yet. I'm not gonna go in and do that.
It's always a risk. Go to the website transparencyandmerit.com.
And you know what? Here's the thing, Joe.
Yes.
We want to have. You know what? I mean, regardless of how this country comes about, we want to build a world where you can debate and you can talk. We want to have a place here of open discussion, of free-minded thinkers, people that aren't vindictive, whether they're on the left or the right. We don't follow the Proud Boys or anybody like that, or the Proud Boys or the or Antifa. We're just putting out the facts, and whatever sticks. But our main thing is freedom of speech, freedom of thought, and definitely when you become an adult, and you don't have, you can have a different opinion. You don't have to be violent. You shouldn't, you don't have to cancel the person at work and get them fired or anything like that. That is an awful thing to do. That is cruel. And you sure as hell should never try to get violent. And I think you can have a more peaceful world if we have a more transparent world. And you know what, Joe? The one thing is right now, we are under massive lockdowns. Our lives have been greatly altered by this. And it doesn't seem like there's any debate on, like, with the mainstream media about the lockdown. They're not even debating the issues. It's like, this is what Dr. Fauci said. This is what Dr. Fauci says, and you have to agree with it. And then there are other people who think it's all a bunch of nonsense. And why can't there be a debate? I mean, there used to be. You know what, Joe? This, and I've said this: the information age has turned into the age of censorship because the mainstream media has stopped debating. Why aren't they debating? Is this mask policy a good idea? It's the left and the right, and they're not meeting, and I don't know why. What happened to this country? What happened to the West, to the civilized society? I guess I am upset about that, Joe, because
Well, there's a lot of changes that aren't going to come back. MTV used to play music videos. That's not coming back anytime soon.
Who here doesn't remember, Dick Cavett? When Dick Cavett would have on his show, he would have people with opposing views on his show.
Here's the problem. Nobody remembers Dick Cavett because nobody cares anymore.
Well, they should. And you know what? Here's the deal. He gets views. There are a few people, and you know what? There are a few people that know who Dick Cavett is, and those that do, I want them on my show. Those who remember Dick Cavett, those who remember Phil Donahue, when he had different guests on of absolutely opposing views. The mainstream doesn't do that anymore. They're not unbiased, and it's sad. I mean, I always knew they were liberal, but I never knew, like, to me, what I'm seeing is not good, and it does upset me. But I guess I'm doing what I'm doing now is I'm building up. The reason I'm building a website is I want transparency and merit. I want to know all the facts, and I don't decide what has merit. You do. I want people to be able to build their own page, their own page on on our website. That's ultimately, and have their own videos and have lively debates. Anyway, that is all. Hey guys, go to our website, transparencyandmerit.com. Check it out. But one of the things we're trying to do is have open debate and open discussion. And
sign up. Yeah. And we are selling sweatshirts and T-shirts on there, and it's a fundraiser for us to just start helping us support our website. We're a nonprofit organization, dirt cheap, and they're really nice. They're vintage, old sweatshirts and T-shirts, and they're but brand new, never worn. And check them out. But definitely go to the website and sign up. At very least, get in our thing. We're gonna have newsletters. We have a blog. I've opened that up so anybody can read the blog, and we're going to be actively posting on there. So you'll want to check it out. But yeah, that's it for that. Anything else, Brian?
That'll do it. Let's end it. Let's go and do. Let's have you meet the coffee guys, not the coffee, but the whatchamacallit. We'll just stay on here, so we'll have see. You can see a new group of guys in Discord. And you know what I'd like to do is get into other Discord. Like, there's a Stoic page, and I'd almost like a Stoic com page, because then I can, advertise through there and shit.
Yeah, I'm a little.
You know what? I'm gonna start pushing my transparency and merit page.
Yeah, I really don't want to spend too much time on Discord. I don't trust it, and I think a lot of
transparency and merit Discord.
Yeah, we do have a Transparency and Merit Discord, but definitely go to the website first, and I'll put a link for it on there. That's what I should do.
We should spend time in there, dude, and just try to build up build up Discord there.
Alrighty, let's finish. Let me just close this, and we'll stay on here. Thank you for listening, and that'll do it for this.
Check out our thing.
Check out our show, and also leave us some ideas for if there's a topic you like that we've talked about or haven't touched yet. Brian and I see things very differently, so almost any topic we'll do. Give us some suggestions, and we'll deal with it.